You know what fascinates me about toxic relationships? It's not just about the obvious red flags, the shouting, the manipulation, the control. It's about the intricate dance of psychological mechanisms that keep people locked in these dynamics, often against their better judgment. Think about trauma bonding, for instance. The human brain creates powerful attachments during periods of intense emotional experiences, both positive and negative. When someone alternates between showing love and inflicting pain, it creates a biochemical roller coaster. The victim's brain literally becomes addicted to the cycle of relief that follows abuse. It's like a twisted version of intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes gambling so addictive. But here's what's really interesting: toxic relationships often start with a phenomenon called love bombing. The initial stages are marked by excessive attention, affection, and promises of a perfect future. This creates an idealized version of the partner that becomes almost impossible to let go of, even when reality proves otherwise. The victim keeps chasing that initial high, convinced that if they just try hard enough, that perfect person will return. The most counterintuitive aspect is how toxic relationships hijack our survival instincts. When faced with persistent emotional or physical threats, the brain adapts. It develops hypervigilance, constantly scanning for signs of danger. This heightened state of awareness can become so normal that a healthy, stable relationship might actually feel boring or wrong. What's particularly fascinating is the role of childhood experiences. People who grew up with inconsistent parenting often find toxic relationships strangely comfortable because they mirror their earliest attachments. The chaos feels familiar, while healthy boundaries feel threatening. It's as if the brain is choosing the devil it knows over the angel it doesn't. Then there's the social component. Toxic relationships often involve isolation, but not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it's subtle: the gradual erosion of outside friendships, the slow withdrawal from family, the increasing dependence on the toxic partner for emotional validation. Society's pressure to maintain relationships, especially in marriages or long-term partnerships, can further trap people in these situations. The cognitive dissonance in toxic relationships is remarkable. People can simultaneously know they're being mistreated while defending their abuser. They construct elaborate narratives to justify staying, often rooted in cultural beliefs about love, commitment, and self-sacrifice. This mental gymnastics serves as a protective mechanism, shielding them from the full reality of their situation. What's crucial to understand is that leaving isn't just about making a decision. It's about breaking through multiple layers of psychological conditioning. The fear of being alone, the uncertainty about the future, the damaged self-esteem, these are all powerful forces that keep people stuck. But perhaps the most compelling aspect is how toxic relationships can become a form of identity. When someone's entire world has revolved around managing another person's moods and needs, the prospect of reclaiming their own identity can be terrifying. Who are they without this relationship? What would they do with their freedom? The path to healing requires understanding these complex psychological mechanisms. It's not enough to simply tell someone to leave; they need to unravel the deep-seated beliefs and patterns that kept them trapped in the first place. This is why professional help is often crucial in breaking free from toxic relationships. Looking at toxic relationships through this lens helps us move beyond simple judgments. It's not about weak versus strong people. It's about complex psychological processes that can affect anyone, regardless of their intelligence, education, or social status. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward breaking free from them.